Wake Up MLS on a very weird week. International break for just about everybody else around the world, which means usually MLS doesn't give a shit. They'll kind of just play games anyway, but they dialed it back. This week we have four total matches on the slate for Matchday 19. No worries, though. There's still plenty of content to come from Wake Up MLS this week. We're going to be talking MVP. We're already just almost, halfway now through the season. MVP race is well underway. There are plenty of standouts. We have taken the time each, not just here on the panel today, which, by the way, I am joined by Hector of Insert Name FC. Hector, welcome in, brother. We got Hitman Honda, the LA Galaxy fan, joining us today as usual, and my man out of Hotlanta himself, AJ from Atlanta United Fan TV. AJ, welcome in, bro. Guys,
it's never called Hotlanta.
Hey, bro, it worked. Hey, Hector, I think
it's more like humid Atlanta. It's more like
very
freezing
humid.
over there, bro. It's freezing over there. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah, and look, man, it might have worked, bro. He's been saying it for a few weeks now, and look, Pineda's out. Maybe turning of the tide down in Atlanta. I don't know. We'll see. Some season to be salvaged, I think.
Wait, did they fire him after the Inter Miami win?
No.
No.
It was after. I think that match saved him for another week. Yeah, it saved him one more week. Delayed the inevitable. But nonetheless, fellas, we are here today to talk about MVP. What we have done, for those of you who haven't tuned in some of the OG episodes on Wake Up MLS, we polled 8 different creators, got each of their separate top 5 rankings for the MVP race, aggregated all of those together, put it together in points, and what kind of spat out is our aggregate top 5. So we're going to unveil that top 5 on this video tonight. Going to surprise everybody here on the panel and, of course, you at home. So again, if you haven't done so already, or if you're brand new to the channel, like the video down below, subscribe, and let's dig into it. Let's go ahead and tee up our MVP race, our rankings here. I'll start from number 5. We'll work our way to number 1. And again, this was the popular vote, okay? These was the aggregates top 5 based on the 8 different creators that were polled, including us 4. So, number 5, I don't know who you guys think it might be, but I'll go and team up now. Christian Benteke, my man, bro. I think personally, Benteke has been DC by themselves, by the way, have just been kind of, I don't want to say mid, but when you think about how quickly they started, the volume of chances they were creating, Benteke getting a hat trick to kind of kick off 2024, the chances have still been there, but the results have kind of gone sideways a little bit since then. I think DC is still in a pretty promising place, but man, let me ask you this. Did anyone here not vote for Christian Benteke? Because I did. I 100% did.
Yeah.
Hector did not. All right, bro. What do you not like about Benteke?
I think it's also a reflection of like where DC is at right now to me. I do see him as a very valuable piece to DC United. It's just that, like, if you're talking about most valuable player, you kind of want to see their team at least in a better position.
That's fair. Xiaoyan didn't vote for him. Riley did not vote for him. We also pulled Edgar from.
We know why Xiaoyan didn't pick him. So. He just knows. He
just knows, man. His ball knowledge is unmatched, I guess you could say. It's really interesting though, man. Benteke, I think he's been kind of unreal when you think about it. His individual performances. I will say what Hector kind of alluded to with the results. DC's exactly in the same place right now as they probably were last season, like just out of the wild card spots. Usually if you're talking MVP, you think the team results are really going to follow on the back of those performances. Imagine where DC would be without him. Maybe is probably the better way to look at this. Anybody else feel like maybe Benteke should have been higher? Does he deserve a higher spot in this list? I know on MLS's list, he was pretty damn high when I looked at not MLS, sorry, ESPN's top rankings for the MLS MVP race. 12 matches, 11 goals, and 1 assist. AJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I think there's an argument for him to be possibly 4th. I mean, on the whole, if you're a player that is on a winning side, but is making a massive impact to your side, you being from Texas, Alex Rodriguez, I mean, that's just like the biggest example of somebody that, won MVP with a losing team. So if there's anybody that is kind of doing that, it's Christian Benteke. But whether he's actually, doing as well as say an A-Rod in in his prime, that's a different story. But it is, I think, Benteke, he's having a really stellar year, and he would deserve, I think, to be in the top 5 on any year that he's producing these type of numbers.
Yeah, I agree, bro. Hey, can you guys guess how many of these goals have come in with his head versus his feet?
Probably like 70%.
Yep. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of set pieces.
Yeah, it's up there. And 70% was very, very close. Of the 11 goals, literally 7 of them have come in on his head, bro. So, yeah, just about 70%.
I saw 3 of them in Atlanta, so I was pissed.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, the good old Pineda days, man. Rest in peace. I think, yeah, man. For me, I forgot where he ranked in mine. I think I had him a little bit higher on my list. Benteke. Actually, no, he was in 5th. I thought I had him in 4th, but I did not. No, he was in 5th in mine. So
I think I had him in 4th, and it's just because, like, there's a lot of players that I was looking at as well too, and I think there's some that are going to come up ahead of him, which we're going to see in this list later on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So again, I think this is a very fair shout. Like, if he's not in your list, he's probably right on the cusp of being there top 5. And if he is, he probably doesn't make it higher than 4th. So I think considering where DC was last year, even with Benteke kind of being in and out and injured, and now this season what he's doing, hopefully DC can find a way to convert his goals into meaningful results. So we'll see how it goes. But let's move on to number 4. Number 4, actually, to me, was kind of surprising. I feel like he's been balling. Number 4, Lucho Acosta. I think every Cincy fan probably has him as number 1 for a number, obviously for very obvious reasons. But I think even in a less than impressive offensive year for Cincinnati, this guy is still showing why he was MVP in 2023. I never thought his numbers last season were replicable, right? Like, it's so hard to maintain that level of form, especially when you lose certain pieces up top. But man, it's talk about a player that is translating positive performances on the individual level into positive team results. I mean, since he's doing it, man, they're up there, 2nd place in the East, only one keeping pace, I guess you could say, with Inter Miami. I'm trying to think of who didn't have. So look at the list now, bro. It's crazy. Hernan did not pick Lucho. Interestingly enough,
he had to forget. Like, there's no way he didn't put Lucho in there, bro.
One of the best. Right now, this man did not have Lucho Acosta in his top 5. Might have been a trolley pick. Might have forgotten. Who knows, right? Maybe if you're not following Eastern Conference play a ton,
dude, he is literally the reason why Cincy is where they're at right now.
Bro literally lost his ultimate weapon in Brandon Vasquez and is still producing high.
I think he made Brandon Vasquez where he is today. Like, as far as assists, as far as like
arguable, but he's still killing it in Monterrey. So
yeah, he is. He's still crushing it down there in Mexico. But Lucho, I mean, so is Lucho, right? I mean, here in the MLS, I mean, 16 goal contributions in total, right? 7 goals, 9 assists. I mean, maybe you could argue that in absence of some of the attacking talent they have, I'm not saying he should step up, but like maybe we expected a little bit more on the goal scoring front. But 9 assists is nothing to scoff at, man. And again, the MVP campaign was 17 goals and 14 assists. So you can argue he's probably on that pace if he keeps going. We're halfway through the year now. We'll have that break with Leagues Cup, but I mean, man, is he having an MVP worthy season again?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's just that everybody else is having an unreal season and having a type of season that you have in a full year, but in not even half a year. So it's just insane that these are the levels that the league has kind of been going towards. But yeah, Lucho Acosta, I think, it's a little depressed, I think, in terms of the pace. I mean, you would probably think it's probably maybe half the goals, maybe of 17. So he should be around 8 or 9. And then, kind of already on his way there to for assists. So, I mean, already a hell of a year, though.
Yeah, I agree, bro. And now that I'm looking at this, by the way, Honda did not have Acosta either.
No, I swear I did.
Nah, bro, I'm looking at it right now. You did not have. You left him off.
I did.
Guys.
No, I swear I did.
Honda, come on, man.
Ricky Puig.
Real quick.
Ricky Puig.
I think so.
Here's the thing, right? That one, Ricky Puig, I'll tell you right now, I put him in 5th, but I put this guy higher. I swear to God, I put him higher.
No, you did not. I'm looking at the picks right now. I swear you did not include him. And again, it's not a crazy. I mean, it's a little crazy, but it's not like insane. Like I said, you're not the only one who did it. And keep in mind, there's a lot.
Nah, because one of my lists, I had him 2nd, but I don't know if I sent that. Oh no!
You said, "Look, you looked." The message was, "All right, final list." I'll put. I put it a lot, but this is the one I choose. Yeah. So, hey, bro, listen, Galaxy fans, come get your boy. Maybe I don't really know, but hey, look,
I replaced the 4th one with this guy. I replaced my 4th place with this one.
All right, yeah, fair enough. I was trying to look to see who else didn't pick him and why he ended up in 4th. Because
I'm like 4th. I swear I put him in the freaking top 5 list, bro. But
I feel like I might have had Lucho higher. I don't know if I did or not.
Hector had Lucho. Yes, you had him higher. You had him one higher than this. Yeah. And that to me is like I would say 4th, 3rd. I think 2nd you might be pushing it, right? Like I think
I mean, the top 2 is just like it's a hard debate.
So difficult. It's so difficult, man. 2 unreal players and seasons that are being had there. But like I can, like, if you're a Cincy fan or if you're just a fan of the expectation, considering the narrative around Cincinnati coming into the season, I can understand it. Like I'm not going to fault someone for putting him a little bit higher than 3rd, but definitely not 1st. So 2nd is the best I will give you. Not having him on the list, Honda's kind of criminal, bro. A little bit criminal.
I put my hands up because I thought I had him in. But then once I saw the list again, what you guys told me, right? I'm like, holy shit. He definitely replaces the bottom 3 that I had. For the
yeah, bro.
Easily
it's tough.
The bottom 3.
But, like I said, for me, it's not like he would have jumped up a ton. And the top 3 guys are also like having pretty insane seasons. So not a crazy shot. Not a crazy shot. So, all right. I think Lucho at number 4, I like it. It's a solid pick. He should be, regardless of what's happening in Miami or anywhere else in the league, like I think he should be in the MVP race, especially at the end of the season, especially if he keeps the same goal contribution form he's putting in right now, week in and week out. All right, let's move into number 3. Number 3, El Pistolero, Luis Suarez. I mean, what are we going to say about this, man? I mean, I will say this. There were a lot of shouts on this show, mainly from one guy who's just not here today, and John, who thought this man was going to be coming in a wheelchair, not doing anything. Knees were completely done, wasn't going to come in, just revolutionize the league from a goal-scoring perspective. And I think, in all honesty, he's being overshadowed by Messi, obviously. But, bro, in 14 matches, having 11 goals and 5 assists is nothing to scoff at. I mean, Benteke's having an unreal season, and this man's matched the goal tally and has 4 more assists. And so even with all the talent they have on Inter Miami, he's still finding a way to benefit not just himself, but everybody around him. And I think I'm trying to think of who had this man higher.
I did not have this man. I'll tell you this right now. I did not have this man.
I know. And that's so crazy, bro. Is that so is Honda not having Luis Suarez a massive, like, is that just a massive mistake?
Is that egregious?
No, yeah. I think Acosta's more criminal than Suarez, and I think it's because obviously there's another guy on his team that is probably more than likely to be the higher candidate. But Acosta. I mean, it's also not a tough thing to like not believe that Luis Suarez was going to be able to have it because he was struggling in Brazil. I mean, the man was like covered in ice packs on his knees. So it was, there was those concerns that you had when he came in here. But I mean, I guess Messi is just like the ultimate, like, I don't know. He just revived him or something. I have no idea because
I'd say this. If Messi wasn't there, then Luis Suarez would definitely be taking his place where he's at on the table.
Do you think Suarez would still benefit though? Like, would he have the?
He wouldn't have these numbers
that he has. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Because half of the time he hasn't been playing with Messi either, and it's Miami.
That's fair. I wonder how many games he hasn't had Messi for. But sorry, AJ, what were you gonna say?
Yeah. I mean, it is that. I think it's arguable that he wouldn't have as many numbers, as he does here. But it is always that kind of argument. If you have 2 players on the same team that are in the MVP race, do they, deserve to be, fully on that MVP race if, really both are benefiting from it? And I think, obviously, in this case, yes. But it is like, yeah, you have a lot of other teams that in the past, having two, it's arguable. Like, can they actually be that?
Yeah.
But it is also,
yeah.
yeah, it is also. I want to hearken to that. Like earlier in the predictions in the early on season when we were doing a tier list. I mean, I had Miami at the tippy top as elite, and I mean they're basically showing that, and it's annoying, but it's what's happening, and it's
Yeah, I mean, yeah, AJ did. I remember, saying, like, at the end of the day, Messi and company are inevitable, right? Like, there's just, I mean, even at this ripe age of whatever 35 that they are, 36, there's just no stopping what they're able to do in this league. Now, I think whether or not Luis Suarez would have the same or even a similar goal contribution tally to what he has now, that's like chicken and the egg. You know what I mean? Like, Messi needs Suarez. Suarez needs Messi. I mean, I'd be curious if anybody in the audience can kind of go pull some numbers on what his goal tally looks like without Messi on the pitch. I imagine the numbers go down at least decently. Now, granted, I mean, he scored some wonderful solo efforts, so he's probably in that golden boot race, even if it's towards the bottom, regardless. But yeah, man, I mean, they have completely taken over down there in Miami. Luis Suarez, where do you think, before we move on, where do you think he finishes goal-wise? Because right now he's at 11 and 14.
Definitely over 20, but I'm not sure that much over 20.
26, depending on like if he misses games or not.
Yeah.
No, I'd say around there.
Would he be the oldest player to reach 20-plus goals in a season in MLS? He's 37.
Would he?
Right.
How much? Wando?
Yeah, exactly. That's my first thoughts too, is Wando. But yeah, he probably is, to be fair.
Yeah. How old was Wando when he retired?
Oh, I
can't remember. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I thought he was mid-30s. I didn't think he was as old as 37, but I could be wrong. And then Giroud's going to be coming in the summer, so like we'll see what he does. Maybe not this season, but next season. Yeah, bro. And I imagine Giroud's going to score a ton too. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's an interesting question to kind of answer, but we'll see. 11 goals, 5 assists, and I think that right now, I mean, he's tied for second in the Golden Boot race, even with Benteke trailing Chicho. I think that we'll see what happens. But I had Acosta higher than Suarez. To me, a lot of people had Suarez higher, minus Honda, who didn't have him at all. But
you wanted to get different teams in, all right. So and Inter Miami top 5, like. Come on, if we're gonna be doing that, you might as well chuck Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, and whoever else.
Jordi Alba in an MVP race for any league would be shocking. Yeah. That would be. I'm a Barca fan through and through, bro. You see that the Messi thing on my wall.
It's because fullbacks don't get love.
Yeah, exactly. Defensive players,
and we're gonna see it.
They have their own. They have their own award with Defensive Player of the Year and all that type of stuff. So
yeah.
Which I don't see Jordi Alba winning that either, though.
I'll be honest, bro. The only reason he is getting the All-Star shouts, not the only reason, but one of the biggest reasons is fan voted, and fans just love seeing a player that big in MLS. But at the end of the day, like I do think there have been overall, all-around game, defense and offense in the modern age, better fullbacks than Jordi Alba. But he has been impactful. I won't say he wasn't. So anyway, number 3, El Pistolero Luis Suarez. All right. Now, the moment of truth, the top 2. We all know who the top 2 are going to be. It's just a matter of the order, right? And this was really, really interesting for me. It was a single point that separated the top 2. There was a massive drop-off from 2 to 3. Okay, so number 2, Lionel Messi. This is kind of wild, right? When you really think about just
no, because that's exactly who I put at 2.
Yeah, I put it, bro. I am the biggest Messi stan on the planet. But I've been so impressed with his counterpart that we will talk about right after this, that I just feel like I have to give that flowers. I have to recognize that. I think he's having an insane season. Messi is too, but who didn't expect this? Like, maybe that's what it is.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think it's just everyone expected Miami to be where they are. Everyone expects Messi to be where he is. I mean, you give him Luis Suarez, and I mean, this team just became more lethal. You still have Sergio Busquets. You still have Jordi Alba. That center back that I think is like 50 years old, but I think it's
they're bringing in Di Maria as well too, by the way. So there's more.
You might get Angel Di Maria.
God,
it's not a might, it's a will. They already,
bro. If they get Di Maria, I'm not going to say I'm done with the league at all, but we all know who's winning it. Like if that man comes to MLS and teams up, like with Messi and the crew, it's over. It's literally over for everybody. Like not that it already isn't. It might already be over for the majority of teams. But
listen, Giroud and Griezmann and LAFC might have something to say about that.
Griezmann's going to the Dynamo, bro. You didn't hear about that?
What? Someone's actually gonna get some offense.
Shout out Nino Flores with the intel. Yeah, bro,
I'm gonna speak it to existence.
Hey, do what you gotta do, bro. Imagine.
If not, it'll be on EA Sports FC.
I'm telling you, man, Acha's gonna find a way, bro. He's gonna create the Mexican vibes, and we all know Griezmann loves that. I think if he could live in Mexico, he really would. He loves the culture, loves the people.
He does have some Rockets jerseys.
Carlos Vela too, man. You know what?
He does got him some Rockets jerseys. I just want to point that out.
He was also spotted wearing like Seattle Mariners gear on the subway the other day. I know Xiao Yan was super.
And then he'll discover the greatest baseball team of all time, the Houston Astros. So, I mean, it's all great. It's great.
Yeah, bro. But either way, man, I mean, 19 goal contributions, 10 goals and 9 assists. Was this expected, or did we actually expect more by this point of the season?
I would actually expect more on the goal side. Assist side, it's probably about where it should be. But I think it's also this type of performance is, I mean, this is the only time I'm going to hearken to LA United on the show. And this is, I think it's poignant. Where Miguel Almiron, Jose Martinez, in Jose Martinez's MVP year, you had these, you had a creator and then you had a striker. And, with Suarez, with Messi, I mean, arguably, well, Jose Martinez had a better pace than anybody on this list in his MVP year. So it is, to a degree, like kind of similar that you have two heads, doing all this damage. But that's what makes number one so impressive is that he doesn't have any help. Yeah. And we'll get to that, but I mean,
we'll get to that. I will say this: what is, despite the tally, what is impressive about Messi's tally to this point, is the fact that he's played 2/3 of the games. He's played 10 of the 15, and so in 10 matches,
and I think that's where I'm like, these numbers seem kind of realistic because of how they've rotated Messi out. Obviously the alleged that he does not want to play on turf, all that stuff, but despite playing fewer matches, is leading in goal contributions.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's insane. Which again, I think we all expected this, right, to an extent, but it's just when you think about the actual number of games he's played, it is nothing short of impressive. So I think with that said, I'm sure everybody in the league, ESPN writers, MLS writers, every fan across the league, for the most part, probably has Messi in first. That's understandable. I'm not gonna. We had plenty of guys who did pick, about half of us who picked Messi in first place, but the other half, right?
Look, man, this guy's living his best life now. He's got the Michelob Ultra commercials. He's got
Bad Boys.
He's got a sandwich. Trailer. Yeah, we all found out he speaks English.
He's got a knockoff Prime brand. That's crazy,
bro. Hey, low key, fuck Prime. I'm drinking Moss, bro. It's Moss Plus from here on out. It's Moss Plus from here on out, bro.
We're gonna drink some really sugary Gatorade.
Hey, you know what? For real, man. Get it out of here.
Yeah, throw it away. Throw it away. Absolutely, bro. It's Moss.
Dude's got a chicken sandwich with his name on it at Hard Rock Cafe. Bro's living like legitimately, he's living his best life. Like, I mean, I wish I could have a sandwich named after me. So I mean,
and what's crazy is, man, why didn't they use I would have called it Mess. Like, why not call it Mess?
I know, right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's like an I don't know, image rights thing at play there. I don't really know. I mean, I don't want to pretend to understand Messi's business fully, but I don't know, missed opportunity from my perspective. Because if it even had just the first 3 letters of his last name, that shit would be picked up by every family, parent, kid who's aspiring to be a soccer player in this country. Everybody, bro. I think Prime. They're probably upset they didn't sign Messi. They went after Erling Haaland and Show Speed and all those guys and forgot about Messi,
the Prime curse, though. The Prime curse. That's why Arsenal didn't win the league. That's why Barcelona.
Oh my god! Both my teams, bro. Both my teams got fucked by the Prime curse, bro. It's crazy. We're not gonna talk about that right now. 23-24 seasons beyond us, boys. It's beyond us. We've moved past it. All right. Everyone can agree. Messi's had an unreal season, but that teases up for our number one. And I think nobody, I'm not going to say nobody, but I don't think very many, if anybody, had this man Cristian Chicho Arango at number 1. Man, Real Salt Lake coming out swinging, led by him. And I won't go as far as maybe AJ would have put, saying he has no help, but it is very minimal in comparison to.
They are dogs. This
like
is the
Miami.
alpha dog. This
Yeah.
is the alpha
That
dog
is
team.
my dog. Like,
yeah, I agree, bro. He is he absolutely is just an absolute dog, as we say on the show, just leading his team. 14 matches, 13 goals, 4 assists. Now, people will say, hey, you know, he's a striker out and out. Messi's maybe a little bit more of a creator at times. You know, he's keeping pace with a tried and true striker, a tried and true number 9. Sure, you can make that argument, but it's still Messi. And at the end of the day, Arango is still technically outperforming him on a team that did not have the expectation that Inter Miami has in this league.
Dude,
I mean, I would argue, man, that we're also like, at least the season before, really didn't have an identity. This year, they have an identity, and that identity is Arango. Like, that is what he has made this team, the mentality of what they have now. That I could be down 3-0. Fuck it, I'll come back 3-3. Sorry.
I know, bro. It's insane, man. I'm telling you, like, I saw it firsthand at the Dallas game, and granted, you know, my team is not great at all by any means this season, so I don't know what was expected, but I expected more of a fight all throughout that game. And like when they wanted to turn it on, it was led by this man, and they did 3 goals in the span of a half, and I just had to sit back and take that L. And that's many teams this season.
And
right?
he definitely has goal of the season with what he did to Austin. So
Jesus, bro, I know, man, that crazy. I mean, it might well end goal of the season. I know John probably say, hey, bro, that Kellen Acosta wind chip, you know, that caught the keeper off guard.
No, the wind scored that. It doesn't count.
But the craziest part about Arango, to me, the narrative that like nobody talks about is that there wasn't really a fight for this man when he left Pachuca. There wasn't. Like, he went to Salt Lake, and it was kind of straightforward. LAFC didn't make a push for him. Granted, they have so many attackers now, but they know what he can do.
He keeps kicking himself every day.
Yeah, so. God, bro, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't know, man. Is there anything else we can really note about Arango before we move on to our 4 matches?
Arango, the ones that are arguing, saying like he's just a striker, he's just a complete striker. He's not just a complete striker because he comes down to the midfield and he creates as well too. It's not like he doesn't. And I saw that versus LA Galaxy, right? He would tether to the left for Diego Luna. He would then run all the way into the box to wait for that goal.
Yeah, I agree. One question before we move on: who finishes with a higher goal tally, Arango or Suarez?
Oh. Arango, I think.
Yeah, it'll be close. It'll be really close. Like there's 2 goals.
If he continues this pace, yes. If he continues this pace,
I honestly would throw in Benteke. I think they're gonna find opportunities for him.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like 3 or 4 players up there, sure.
Yeah, bro, 13, 11, and 11. Like it's like that's right there. Those 3, the top right now, and it could shift a little bit. Also, Leagues Cup's gonna disrupt certain players' form, right? It just will. Like, if Inter Miami starts to maybe rotate for that tournament because they won it last year and it's not a big deal to them anymore. Like maybe there's like a little bit of that at play. And then, you know, they got to shake off the rust a little bit on the restart for the rest of the regular season. So we'll see how the goal contributions shake up. But man, for me, this man was undoubtedly number 1. And there were, again, some of us here on the show did pick, again, Arango second, you know, the likes of Hernan, Xiaoyan, Edgar from across the galaxy, not across the galaxy. They all picked Arango second, but like I understand why. You know, they had Messi first. It makes sense. But I love what I'm seeing from this man. I wish to God we had someone like this on Dallas, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, guys. Well, look, that is our top 5 race. Arango taking the very top. If you disagree with any of those picks, again, guys, let us know down below, man. I got a feeling Messi's probably number 1 for the majority of you out there, but if you back this man and RSL in general, they're probably going to continue to turn a lot of heads for the remainder of the 2024 season. But that's our MVP race. Let's quickly move into our predictions. There's only, again, 4 games on the agenda for today. That's all that there really is for MLS play this week for Matchday 19. So I'm going to go switch it over to our first game. We'll tee it up, and let's get into it. St. Louis City hosting Portland. And again, guys, I'll say this confidently right now. This is not a knock on any team that's playing this week. There are 0, like, holy shit, this is a hot button match. Let's dive into it. It's going to be a ton of back and forth. a lot of these teams need results this week to kind of keep pace with the rest of their conferences. Okay. These two teams are the perfect example of that. St. Louis City at 17 points, Portland at 20, a couple spots separating them down at the West. St. Louis did get that result against Miami. I say result, it's another draw for them. 8 draws this season, but it was Miami. It was, it was a crazy game back and forth, 3-3. That draw against Houston for Portland, Hector, maybe you talked about it a little bit. It was a crazy game from my perspective when I was watching. I feel like Evander was doing his thing. Carrasquilla getting his goal, which we've kind of been waiting for some of that to continue to happen. So, in general, we'll start with Hector, but how do you guys feel this one's going to go knowing what we know about these teams?
I feel like the draw for Portland was probably a little deflating for them. Obviously, it's a home game, and them, giving up points against the Dynamo, a team that went into your stadium and beat you, but this time around, you're at least able to get the draw. But it's kind of like at least we got that, versus like fuck yeah, at least we got points. It's a very like defeating draw, whereas St. Louis City just had a 3-3 draw against Miami, and it's like not bad. Like
not bad. Yeah, bro. It's telling of where these two teams are, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a lot of confidence, at least for St. Louis, to get like, hey, now we know we can score goals. Maybe we can just stop them, which is kind of funny because it's kind of the same thing with Portland. They know how to score goals. They just don't know how to stop them. So I actually feel like it's going to be a draw. It might be a 2-2 draw for me.
Yeah, I mean, neither team keep a clean sheet, but I will say this, bro. This is how opposite ends of the spectrum that this Portland team is. They are literally like complete back and forth. They are the second highest scoring team in all of the West at 9th place. They're also the second. They concede the second most goals. They're 32 and 32. Literally, their goal spread at this moment. So they can score goals. They can't stop them to save their lives. Now, St. Louis City on the opposite end of that really hasn't been that prolific in front of net at all. So I don't know. I'm kind of inclined to think like Portland has a better shot because of just what they can do going forward. But maybe this is also the perfect team for St. Louis because they can't really defend either. I mean, AJ, how do you see it going, bro? I know you're more of an East guy, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is seemingly kind of aiming towards a draw, but I feel like, St. Louis being at home, there is a little bit of a factor of kind of the feel goods after, scoring 3 goals against Miami. I think there is more of a possibility that St. Louis can pull it out, maybe a 3-2 win. And still a lot of entertainment for neutrals if people are even watching this one. But,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It might be a draw. Honda, you lean that way too, a draw, or do you actually see like maybe a road upset or something along those lines?
The one question that I have is St. Louis still a freaking fortress at home? Because from what I've seen, they haven't really been that much of a fortress.
No, sure. I mean, I don't think so. They've lost the last 2 home games that they've had, and one of those was most recently to the Sounders. So, a team that really hasn't scored multiple goals in very many games this season, put 2 past St. Louis in, at City Park in their own stadium.
I feel like Portland can just turn it up in games, and if they turn it up, I feel like they're gonna win. I feel like they're gonna win like 3-1, 3-2, somewhere around there.
Cabecita, man, I think him and Evander are creating so much for that team right now. It's just
mostly Evander. Cabecita, penalties and stuff like that, but I mean, he's still getting plays.
He had a pretty slick assist against the Dynamo this past weekend.
Yeah,
I think you see some of that, right? Him making blistering runs down the flanks, and then if he can't get the shot off himself, he'll find a way to kind of just find somebody that's trailing in the box. But yeah, I think from my perspective, I'm gonna mainly because Dallas is playing St. Louis next week. I'm going to back Portland so that St. Louis comes in with some poor form. You know what I mean? A 3rd straight loss at home would absolutely make my day as we get ready for this team next week. I'm going to back Portland. I think it's going to be like a 2-1. We got a draw from Hector. AJ, you on a draw?
No, St. Louis City.
Ooh, okay. All right. They break the duck at home. Honda, how do you see it going?
I said Portland.
Portland. All right, bro. I like it. All right, let's move on to we have 3 total West matchups and 1 East. So we'll get to our second Western Conference matchup. And again, like I said before, unsexy as it comes. Sporting Kansas City
week
hosting the Seattle Sounders, man. And I don't have to read off the stats. Neither of these teams are doing well. One of these teams is still way worse off, in my opinion, than the other, and that's just the men led by Peter Vermees. I don't know if he ever gets fired, and I don't know what it would take for him to get fired. Because at this point, I mean, they're actually not even like terrible moving like going forward and scoring goals. They just can't close out a game to save their lives. Like they're 12th, I think, in the league right now, total across all 29 teams in goals scored per 90. They just cannot close games out, or they have to come from losing positions almost all the time and just net out a basic draw or just not enough goals to see it through. So they've lost, I don't know how many matches in a row now. Seattle, though, coming off the draw against RSL, maybe that instills a little bit of confidence. Honda, how do you see it going to
previous weeks? I've joked about Seattle winning. This week, I'm not joking about it. They're going to win. They're going to win by 2-0. Honestly, I don't see how Sporting can actually like wake up. Because usually they start off like this, somewhat similarly, and then they just turn it up like mid-season. I don't see them.
And they just got to get better at September.
Yeah, I mean, but it's crazy about Kansas City, bro, is that they're actually like infinitely better than Seattle offensively. Like I said, Seattle like they're scoring 1.5 goals a game. Seattle's scoring just above 1, like 1.2, and that right there is good enough for like the bottom 6 or bottom 7 in the league. So I don't see many goals in this one. It's at Children's Mercy Park. I don't know how Seattle will travel this year. I mean, so far, I think they've been like very hot and cold.
They beat Philly. They beat Portland.
That Philly game was almost dicey for them, though. Like it really was. It was they almost got they were up 3-0 and Philly almost came back. And they're gonna be missing still. De La Vega still out. Leo Chu still out. So both key wingers. Maybe Leo Jordan Morris has like another goal in him. I don't know.
Arguably, Leo Chu is not that much of a, and Shayan would agree with me. He's not that much of a.
Yeah, but across all their options, he's definitely one of the better ones. Like I think.
I'm just gonna say it, man. 1-0 Kansas City. I'm just gonna say it. Like, good God. Like.
I don't even know dude. I don't know if there are goals in this one. I think it's 0-0, and it's just a slog.
So deflating, bro. I want to see some goals. There's 4 games this week. There better be goals, bro. If every game is up for Snooze Fest of the week, then
can
you
imagine? Yeah, bro, this week for the goal of the match day, there's only 2 goals that they can actually go for.
Oh my God. And they're going to have MLS 360. Keep in mind, this was the perfect week maybe for MLS to think about spreading the games out. They said, fuck it. 3 of the games are at one time slot and one's an hour earlier. That's it. Like I was like, bro,
I mean, MLS 360, this is the prime time to go ahead and do a clip show. You know?
Do the fool and everything. Yeah, just round up every little, bad thing that happened throughout the season.
Like the best of Micah Richards. I mean,
Oh my God, bro. Yeah. Yeah, we're not doing that. I hope to God I don't see that. I think we're just going to see a lot of open gameplay on MLS 360. I really do. I think we're just going to see very minimal goals. Probably not a lot of cut scenes with action. Action packed back and forth.
Oh, there might be a goal here. Oh no, it's a miss.
No. Never mind. He actually missed it again. But yeah, I don't know, man. This one's tough. This one's very tough. I hope there are goals. I'm gonna back Kansas City, and I'm gonna say 2-1. I think it's gonna be hopefully some goals, man. We'll see what happens. And a Seattle loss would really help Dallas, I think, kind of climb and close the gap. I think there's like 4 points between us right now, or 5 points. So that would really help. All right. Anybody else who hasn't shared results yet? I think
we all shared it. I said Seattle.
You said Seattle. Yeah. AJ said
0-0.
Oh my God. I hope
not. I know.
All right. Well, let's move on from that snooze fest to I don't think another snooze fest because there is a good team in this one. This one could get dicey really quick.
Stop! He's already dead.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. This one could get bad really fast. In Minnesota at the Allianz, we'll see how it goes. But Minnesota United.
Hey, I said Real Salt Lake would destroy Dallas, and it ended up 3-3.
But that was in Texas. Like in Texas, I was like, all right, I give us a slight chance because of the heat and like everything else.
If you're FC Dallas, you're about to be relieved when you go over to Minnesota.
Yeah, probably, bro. I mean, the weather's more favorable and whatnot, but like this is gonna be a tried and true home game for Minnesota. And like I think we've netted 1 result on the road so far. And I say netted a result, meaning we like took a point from an away match, and that was against Houston. And that's a derby game, so form doesn't really matter. I think with this, We looked good against the Galaxy, still, lost that game, stupid red card. Looked decent against LAFC, lost 1-0, but we still lost. And now we go to a team, another powerhouse team that's just as good, maybe even. Would you say that Minnesota's better than LAFC right now?
Minnesota, me personally, I would.
Yeah, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's interesting. It's an interesting question, right? Because I think Minnesota United on the
they're
table.
They're fighting up there with Real Salt Lake, too. Like,
yeah.
It's not like they're far off.
They're 2 points separating LAFC and Minnesota United. And we didn't have our starting center back Tafari because he has that stupid red card against the Galaxy. I don't know if that'll make much of a difference, to be honest, because it's a center back, not a goal scorer. But at the end of the day, we just can't. We could keep teams out for so long, and then Denny Bowanga, right, in the 75th minute, gets a goal. And that may be how this game goes too. Maybe we keep Minnesota out for so long, and then they score anyway. We delay the inevitable, and it kind of moves on. But if there are going to be goals this week, I think Minnesota United is probably going to bag them. I hate to say it, but
this would be a great, Nico Fire game.
You know what? Hector's fucking right, bro. I'm back in Minnesota United. I back Minnesota United. Get Nico out of my club. I'm totally in, bro. Totally in. That's a great point that Hector just made. And if we get slapped up at the Allianz and they keep backing Nico, the front office, the whole season's chalk, bro. The whole season's chalk. Like, it doesn't even matter when Velasco gets back or Giovanni Jesus or Ferreira's back to 100%. Like, none of that shit matters because
this is gonna sound stupid right now, but I just realized that their records just mirror each other.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's the complete opposite.
Complete opposite.
And with that, I think something that might happen to your dismay probably is that this is a perfect trap game for Minnesota United.
Yeah.
And FC Dallas have every chance of
1 point
playing upset.
This is the Atlanta United Inter Miami game. This is
exactly.
They come in, they win some stupid game they shouldn't fucking win.
No, but Jose, next week, coach will be fired if they win.
Exactly.
If we go that route, if it happens next weekend as opposed to this one, I'll take it. But I just have a feeling that if we beat a top 3 team, they're just gonna say, "Oh yeah, Nico's doing a good job. Look at the players he has. They're gonna prolong it."
Atlanta United beat the best team, and they fired them.
Maybe it's what it takes, bro. Maybe we'll have to play Inter Miami and beat them for our I guess I don't know, for Nico to maybe keep his position long term. I don't want this man anywhere in my club anymore. I just don't. I think he needs to go. This tactics, the formation, everything is just absolutely terrible. Terrorist football at its finest. And I think, I don't know, man. I'll be honest. I see this game. I know AJ said trap game, maybe, but I think it's gonna be 2-0 Minnesota, like a clinical 2-0. In my opinion, I still think that they're a hell of a team.
Jose, don't you want your coach to be fired?
Yes, bro. Absolutely. My guy. All right, fuck it. 5-0, bro. Give me 5-0.
If you really want to get your goals.
In Austin, 5-1 against RSL. Honestly, bro, I back it. 5-1 Minnesota, man. Fuck it. Last time I said that too, which was the Inter Miami game. I think last week when I said it was gonna be 3-0, or 2 weeks ago, when I said it was gonna be 3-0. I got pretty close. So I'm gonna say 4-1. 4-1.
All right.
A little conservative, but still enough to get Nico fired. And not so bad that I'm I can't show my face in the group chat after this. You know what I mean? So
your team got to go. Your team got to go. There you go.
Yeah, against a good Minnesota team. All right, how do you guys have it going realistically?
Well, realistically, I think it's a 2-0 win for Minnesota United. As much as I would find some entertainment in that being a trap game, it's probably 2-0.
Yeah, I can see that too. Hector?
3-1, Musa scores a goal, and he would be like, not bad.
Not bad. Silver lining. Musa scored another goal. Another goal where we get an L. Interesting. Honda, how about you?
I see 3-0, 3-1 for Minnesota. Although, watch us. I'll say Minnesota right now, and then Dallas goes and beats them 3-1 or some shit like that. Watch.
If they do, I don't know. I won't predict any results for my team anymore if that happens. I don't know what to say. I'll just be speechless. I won't know what to say.
Just know what that
much. Honestly, man, you should be predicting draws. I don't know what you guys are doing.
A draw on the road would be a dub here. It would be a dub, 100%. A draw on the road would be. But we'll see. I'll take that all day. I just don't see it happening. But we'll find out. Maybe some trap game potential. We'll find out. And then finally, this is definitely not a trap game, in my opinion. The Revs, even at home, hosting a very good Red Bull side. Bro, 10 points is like, I thought my team was down bad. Like, God, I mean, I thought Chicago was down bad. Like, this is another.
I thought my team was down bad. Yeah,
yeah, bro, this is another level. And
hey man, Forsberg is about to witness the tea crate.
The tea crate, yeah.
The best thing that they got going for them.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do it anymore. It's probably chalked at this point. I don't know how intimidating that is anymore. If they still do it, respect to the fans who are showing up for that tradition. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Hey, it's like, who's ready for the tea crate guy? Everybody.
The one guy they pay to get all hyped for the crowd. Yeah, I don't know, bro. But this one to me, I mean, New England. I'm trying to find like some positive way of maybe spinning this, but they are literally dead last in goals scored per 90. I guess maybe the good news from a neutral standpoint is that these teams, we talk about Snooze Fest being like a 0-0 draw. These teams have not drawn a match against each other in over double-digit games, in over 10 matches. So there are going to be goals. There will definitely be goals in this one. I think they're going to come all from the side of the Red Bulls. I think Forsberg is going to look at that tea crate, toss, laugh his ass off, get ready to go, and just put balls in the back of the net. Him and Lewis Morgan. I really do. I think this is probably it won't be like a smackdown, you know what I mean? I think it's going to be like a 2-0, maybe 3. And then from there, Red Bulls just kind of like own possession. They kind of coast. They're not really going for it anymore. But I don't see this getting out of hand. I just see like a very clinical 2 or 3-0 loss for the Revs. How do you guys see it?
Yeah, it's probably going to kind of go this way. You can't see New England kind of trying to come out, trying to score goals. If they know it's already lost, they're not going to come out of their shell. And yeah, I think 2-0 probably is it. I could see it really being 1-0 as well. I mean, it just, they just, they're like, okay, well, we're not winning this one.
I mean, is there no inspiration to take or motivation to take from the recent away win at Nashville that they just got? I know it's Nashville. They're dealing with their own struggles right now, but
yeah.
They got a dub. Carl's heel goal, maybe.
Nah, man, they're trying to think. That win was not in their what they were projecting to do, bro. They're expected to lose.
So is that
10 losses already? 10 losses. Like, how do you do that?
No, bro. That's fucking crazy. And they're still statistically not even like the worst team defensively, despite the losses. Like the Fire have let in more goals than they have. I think they just benefited from the opponents and when those goals really came in. But bro, Atlanta has beaten them in goals, but like almost has a similar 21 goals conceded versus the 27 that the Revs have. So, I mean, shit, bro, Montreal's led in 35, and they're 4 spots ahead of them or 3 spots ahead of them. Like, it's just I don't know. Some of this is timing, but it's difficult to back the Revs in this one, man. Like, it really is. Hector, how you see it going, man? Before we wrap up.
Honestly, man, I feel like it's that scene in Shawshank Redemption where you're just like, I wish I could tell you that New England put in a good fight, but I give it to Red Bulls.
New York Red Bulls, man.
It's tough, bro.
It's going. I'm gonna say a 2-0 victory. I feel like there's gonna be some mercy from the Red Bulls. I don't think that
Lewis, Lionel, Messi, Morgan is gonna score a hat-trick.
Yes, bro. Yes, back that man. I mean, he's having a hell of a season so far, so we'll see what happens. Definitely another person I think gets honorable mention for MVP race. We think about like if you did like a top 10, he fits, I think, maybe somewhere in there, right? Just how good he's been.
On the line, if he progresses, then
yeah, him and Forsberg are like I think like sneaky shouts. Like we just think about the impact they've had on the Red Bulls so far this season. So. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I think with all the prediction that we just made, by the way, it could be the most MLS thing of all time for all of these results to flip and go exactly the opposite way of the way, how we thought they would go. It's just how Major League Soccer works, especially this season, I think. But look, man, we'll find out. But with that said,
2 weeks, man.
Yeah, actually, in past 2 weeks, bro. If you've been watching the show, we apologize deeply. I think at the end of the day, it's been tough, bro, to predict some of these matches, but it makes this league so fun to watch. So keep tuning in, keep coming back, keep holding us accountable here on Wake Up MLS. We want to make sure that we definitely we're bringing ball knowledge to these takes, man. But sometimes teams just shit the bed, or away games don't go the way that you thought they were going to go, and that's MLS in a nutshell, man. But look, guys, that's it. Those are our predictions. That's our MVP race. If you disagree with any of the takes, any of the picks, let us know in the comments down below. All right. Especially with the MVP race, man. I think it's going to heat up. I really think it's going to come down to Chicho, Messi, and Suarez at the end of the season. Benteke might, if he keeps pace, maybe he'll have his own shout at the end too. But we'll find out. But anyway, here from everybody here at Wake Up MLS, my name's Jose. That's Hector. That's Honda. That's AJ. We'll catch you guys next time.